The balcony of penthouse 401 at the Skyline residences offered a dizzying view of the city, a testament to expensive vertical living. The air conditioning was set aggressively low, a sharp contrast to the humid late summer afternoon outside. Inside, Ava, the 20-something tenant, lounged on a modular sofa upholstered in imported white leather. She wore designer athletic wear and was conducting a loud, self-important conversation on speakerphone while reviewing her lease renewal. The manager, Mr. Peterson, stood awkwardly in the corner, holding a clipboard and looking perpetually stressed. He had scheduled this meeting to finalize the lease, but first, he had sent in the gardener. A soft knock came at the sliding glass door leading to the balcony garden. A frail, older woman shuffled in. She was dressed in worn overalls, a wide-brimmed straw hat casting deep shadows over her face, and her hands were heavily gloved. This was Clara, Mr. Peterson's mother. She looked every bit the overworked, low-paid groundskeeper. Ava glanced up from her phone, her eyes narrowing with distaste. "Ooh, couldn't you have sent someone? Cleaner, Peterson? She smells like dirt." "This is a penthouse, not a compost heap." Mr. Peterson immediately rushed to apologize. "I'm so sorry, Ms. Ava. Clara is our head horticulturist. She just needs to check the irrigation lines on your rare orchids before the paperwork is signed. It will only take a minute." Clara moved slowly, her movements deliberate, pretending to check the soil in a large planter. She kept her head down, but her eyes, sharp and intelligent, were observing every detail of the pristine apartment and Ava's condescending posture. Ava, meanwhile, decided Clara was a perfect target for her boredom. She put her phone on mute. "Horticulturist? Really? You look like you should be watering a retirement home, not dealing with $15,000 orchids." She tapped a long, manicured finger against the glass table. "Be useful, then." "I was just about to go for a run, but I need water. Peterson, you're busy. Gardener, fetch me a glass of ice water, not tap the filtered pitcher in the kitchen, and be quick." "I don't have all day." Clara paused her work, her gloved hands hovering near the soil. She remained silent, a beat too long. Ava laughed, loud and cruel. "What? Is carrying a pitcher too much heavy lifting for you, old woman? Maybe you should stick to weeding." "Just do it." Clara quietly shuffled into the gleaming, minimalist kitchen. Mr. Peterson, embarrassed and anxious, shot Clara a frantic, apologetic look. He was desperate for the observation to end. "Honestly, Peterson," Ava scoffed, flipping her ponytail, "your staffing choices are appalling. If I sign this new lease, I expect a better class of help. People who understand their place. This building should be catering to people of my status, not supporting some geriatric charity case who can barely walk." Clara reappeared, slowly carrying the pitcher and a crystal glass. Her hands were steady now. She placed the items carefully on the table. Ava didn't even look at her, snatching the glass. "Finally! Now get back outside and don't step on the rug. It's custom silk." Clara took a deep breath, and the entire atmosphere of the room shifted. The stooped posture vanished. She straightened, pulling off the straw hat and her gloves, revealing immaculately manicured nails beneath. Her eyes, meeting Ava's, held the chilling clarity of absolute power. "I'm afraid I can't do that, dear," Clara said, her voice a strong, resonant contralto, a voice that commanded boardrooms, not flower beds. Ava frowned, annoyed by the sudden insubordination. "Excuse me, Peterson, deal with her. She's fired." Clara ignored Ava and addressed Mr. Peterson. "It's time, Robert." Mr. Peterson, who was Clara's son, immediately stepped forward, his clipboard held like a shield. He didn't look at Ava. "Miss Ava," he said, his voice now firm, "I believe the observation is complete. We need to discuss the real purpose of this meeting." Ava stood up, furious. "The purpose is the lease renewal, and I am telling you to get this disgusting woman out of my apartment." "Your apartment?" Clara stepped forward, placing her hands on the cold glass table. "No, dear, this is my apartment, and so is every other one in this building and the 2 towers across the street. I am Clara Vance. I am the owner of Skyline Properties." Ava stared, paralyzed, trying to connect the frail gardener to the woman who controlled billions in real estate. "That's impossible. You're that old gardener." "I am the sole founder and majority shareholder. Clara corrected calmly. My son, Robert, the property manager, had me come in, disguised, because he was highly suspicious of you. You move in circles well above your reported income, and your requests are unreasonable. He asked me to confirm your character before he renewed the lease. Clara paused, picking up the discarded straw hat. You, Miss Ava, have an appalling lack of manners, but sadly that wasn't the biggest problem. Robert Peterson stepped in, presenting the papers on his clipboard. The true purpose of this meeting, Miss Ava, is not the lease renewal. It is eviction. Ava stared at the papers. What are you talking about? My lease is current. I have the documents. Clara smiled, a cold, final expression. The documents you forged to move into this penthouse 6 months ago, after the death of the previous tenant. We have been monitoring your activity, Ms. Ava. You are not a wealthy tenant. You are an elaborate squatter who used fraudulent papers to move into the most expensive rental in the city. Clara tapped the crystal glass that held her water. You saw an elderly woman and treated her like dirt, ordering her to fetch water. You judged her worth based on her clothes. I needed to know if you possessed a single shred of humanity before we finalized the criminal complaint. Clara nodded to her son. Robert, call security. And please instruct them to have the local police handle the arrest. And next time, dear, she told Ava, her voice devoid of emotion, don't ask the owner of the building to fetch your water. Clara Vance walked calmly back toward the balcony doors, leaving Ava standing alone in the silent, refrigerated air, her carefully constructed illusion of wealth shattered by the woman she had so arrogantly mocked.